Hello everyone, welcome to Emphy's Sanity series, episode I don't even know at this point. I'm here with Frubbles. Say hi.
Hello.
Hello. How's your day been?
Busy. Definitely really busy.
Yeah, mine has been pretty busy too, honestly. So let's get started with our questions. So, what sort of mental health struggles have you been facing lately?
Honestly, my anxiety's been showing up a little more. But, I've been handling everything else pretty smoothly.
Oh, that's good.
That I deal with.
What about, like, emotional struggles? I guess that's part of the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, emotionally, it kind of just fluctuates, between, like, either feeling very little to feeling way too much. Sometimes, like, it kind of, like, flips between feeling everything and nothing, or just a little bit.
Yeah.
It be in the middle.
So
That's
just
the best way I can kind of put it.
So how does this affect your mental health when you feel like everything, I guess?
It's exhausting. Honestly, I tend to, like, second guess myself constantly and kind of withdraw, and that makes things kind of, like, worse.
Yeah.
It makes, like, easy things down to, like, showing up for people or even, like, answering a text message feel like I'm climbing a mountain.
Yeah. It's a lot, exhausting. So how do you try to cope with such issues?
Honestly, like, trying to keep some kind of a routine in the day kind of helps. Whether it be, like, making a coffee or getting a snack or, whatever. I'm also a gardener / farmer. So I tend to go outside. I'm always, like, I weed, I tend to my flowers, my veggies. I'm also a beekeeper, so I check on my bees. Kind of depends what the plans for the day are.
Yeah. Do you feel that these are successful methods? Like, do you feel successful at handling it using these?
Some days, yeah. Other days, it's like, I gotta keep my head above water. So, I mean, me getting anything done in the day, in any capacity, for me is still a form of success. So,
yeah,
it's a matter of reminding myself of that.
Yeah, and a lot of those sound like really good methods, especially the fact that, like, going outside is really important for your health. You get, like, vitamin D from the sun, you get, like, a little bit of, like, focus, like, off from whatever was bothering you because you're in a different environment. So I think it's pretty good methods.
Yeah. There's also proven health benefits of having dirt under your fingernails, which is really funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's see. Do you feel successful at handling it? Oh, did I already say that?
Personally,
I don't remember. I've been very tired.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so next question. How do you think we could improve at handling such issues in general or personally?
I think we should not measure our value by productivity.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that any kind of mental health care needs to be more proactive and not just like reactive.
Yeah.
You know, I think there should be more normalizing around like taking a break and relaxing and just sometimes not doing anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that did my thing blue screen?
Oh, we having tech issues?
Oh no, you can hear me. You
Yeah,
can still
we
hear
can.
me.
I can hear you.
Cool. It's just my monitor that paused. All right, that's fine. But yeah, I think that it should be fine to just not do anything productive in the day, right? And just take a minute to just breathe and exist and be okay with existing.
Yeah, definitely. I know I've been struggling with that recently, where I've been like, I need to do something productive today or else. Because, like, I know I've been doing a lot of like drawing and like doing like assets for different things and all sorts of things, but I haven't really given myself a break, so I've been like so exhausted because of it. And I definitely resonate with what you said. Like not measuring yourself by what's it called? By productivity. So let's see. Uh-oh, I think we're having issues.
Am I dead? I died.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm not dead.
Yeah, I just resonated with what you really said about not measuring yourself with productivity, because I struggled with that, especially recently.
Well, I mean, I feel like I also just kind of struggle with that, and it's a constant like need to remind myself that there's nothing wrong with not doing something productive and just doing things to do them, or just not doing anything at all.
Yeah. I think it's really important. Earth To Do says, it's good not to measure values over numbers, productivity, or material value. As long as you yourself improve, then that's what you should measure yourself by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even taking breaks is a way to improve. Because otherwise, I feel like, I don't know, like, some people might take that as, oh, I need to always be working on myself in some way. But I think even taking breaks helps yourself improve, because it improves your focus, it helps you like relax, get those cortisol levels down, stuff like that. So I think there's, definitely improving in some way, always doing something. So let's go on to our next question. What are ways we could raise awareness for such issues? And is awareness for this important?
Honestly, like just having conversations like this around them, you know, things that are like ongoing and aren't just like a post on Twitter, for example, or like a once a year campaign or something, right? I think awareness for really anything includes like education, you know, like teaching how these like mental health things show up, and not just the stereotypical way they show up, right?
Yeah.
Especially talking about how they can be invisible, and often you wouldn't even know like this person's dealing with X and Y, right? Like it's so important to have these conversations. It creates a space and the language, and helps people find like the language to talk about what they're going through, and reminds us, you know, that we're just navigating different challenges at the end of the day, right? We're all going through our own thing.
Yeah, we're all human. We all have our own issues and different like things going on, and I think it's really important too. I agree. Hi Chrysalis, hello. We're just talking about just some mental health stuff, mostly like anxiety and like dealing with that, along with awareness. So feel free to stick by if you'd like to hear more. And we're on to our next question. How can we be safe and supported when dealing with these struggles?
I think that for me personally, like connection is key, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like having even one person who can see you or help you feel seen and like heard can make a like honest difference, right? I also think having access to support,
Mm-hmm.
you know, even if not specifically therapy, because not everyone has access to therapy,
Yeah.
but even having spaces that aren't performative and offer you that kind of like connection and even like just somewhere to be, right?
Yeah.
Can help someone feel safe and in turn supported. I think that a lot of days people forget how to cope with things. Like it's easy to get bombarded by all those feelings and thoughts and everything when you're going through something. And I think that having somewhere in your space, in your safe space, wherever that may be, the reminders to like your different mechanisms or something, you know, even having something typed up on your phone
Yeah.
can also be helpful.
Yeah, definitely. That human connection is really important for most people since we are generally like social animals. So like
Yeah.
we need that connection with other people to feel safe. So having that can really help us feel seen and I think feel supported with a lot of these issues. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Would you say your anxiety affects positively or negatively in streaming or recording? Or any other struggles?
I mean, outside of anxiety, I have a persistent depressive disorder
Mm-hmm.
and an adjustment disorder. So if we're like referring to like in general any of these things affecting me, I would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
It could go both ways, right? On like a bad day, honestly, I'm not gonna stream at all. I'm not gonna record it. I'm not gonna hop on anything. I'm personally the kind of person that if I'm gonna bring myself to like any kind of public eye or in a environment where I have to socialize and have any kind of energy,
Mm-hmm.
I would rather like be able to do that and not just show up and have people dealing with like me being like all the way down here
Yeah.
and not up there. That's just me. That's my personal comfort. But like on a good day, sometimes it'll help me connect with people in a more honest way, right? Because there
Mm-hmm.
are days where sometimes I will just go ahead and like hit the go live button or whatever and I'll be honest about it and I'll be like, listen, guys, like I'm not as energetic today. Like I'm not feeling it. This is where I'm at. And sometimes people can resonate with that honesty. And you know, that vulnerability has also helped me connect with a lot of other people in the space, especially in the VTubing sphere.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of nice on that front.
Yeah, for me, I know I feel the same way, like at least whenever I'm in like a bad mood or like I feel depressed, I usually don't stream. Hold on, my cat, it keeps meowing like so incessantly. she likes to talk when I talk. Okay, I don't know if you could hear her. Probably not, but I don't know. Just in case, I'm just saying she's meowy. So
It's all good.
anyways, whenever I'm like feeling down, usually I kind of tend to like be by myself. I usually like in a bad way, like I tend to isolate myself and like never stream, never do anything, and it's really hard for me to get that energy to stream, except for recently, because I have a chronic depression too. It's like I have my medications and stuff, and so they put me on a new one, and it's really helped me gain that energy back. And but there's still days where I might not be feeling well, I might not have the energy, and those days I choose not to stream because I feel like I have to be like happy all the time, you know? That's my thing.
For sure. I don't think it's a matter of you needing to be happy all the time, you know? You
Yeah.
don't need to be happy all the time. I understand, like, I mean, ultimately it comes down to like what you want to show, how much that end of yourself you want to show on your content. But
Yeah.
I think that there's also this nice bit of like people being reminded that you are human. You know, there's a human behind that model or that screen, and I think that that's something an audience can connect with. Just knowing we're on the same playing field, you know?
Yeah. It's something I've been working on, honestly. I've been wanting to even like doing this helps me talk about it a lot too.
Yeah.
With like people around me and everyone, and I think it's good to like see that person behind, like you said. So, yeah. Now with those issues, I guess, do you think it's a trait or like a handicap due to it?
There was a time when I was much younger, where I did see it as a handicap, right? More because of how stigmatized it was when I was growing up, especially as someone that grew up under strict religion, and in a home where having like discussions on mental health wasn't necessarily normalized, as well as like my own lack of education around it, and not having any kind of resources.
Yeah.
I saw it as a means of like me being kind of broken in its own way, right?
Yeah.
And in that time I picked up, before I was doing all the things I do now with like beekeeping and everything, in that time I picked up photography, right? And in photography you learn to try to find different angles to things and try to get creative with how you view like whatever you're photographing, and that kind of idea started transferring to other things for me, including my like mental health. So nowadays I see it more like a lens. It's kind of like a different way of like moving around, you know? Like, while it does make things a little more complicated, definitely a little more complicated, down to like creating relationships with people and connecting, it also has helped me be more empathetic, and more aware of not just my own issues, but like other people. And I've found more ways to navigate it, because now I'm not seeing it as a handicap as much as I am seeing it as like it's there, and I'm learning to like live with it, and I'm figuring how to navigate it a lot better, through trying to just think outside the box.
Yeah. So, you also mentioned, besides anxiety, you said you have a persistent depressive disorder, and you have something with attachment, or was it? What was it again? Adjustment. So, would you like to talk more about what those are and how you deal with them?
So, with my depression, it's more of a, well, it's a mood disorder, right? It affects me in the sense that I how do I put it? And this is and part of how I'm gonna explain it is why right now I'm looking into something else, in terms of like, I think I was in case it was misdiagnosed, because there's a lot of things that get misdiagnosed and often thrown into the same bucket, but I'm gonna explain it the best I can. So there are days where I have these super highs and then I crash, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have very bad mania, and I'm gonna be like elated, and I'm happy, and I'm all good, and I'm energetic, and then I crash, and it sinks into like the worst of worst, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. And often that leads into like me being very tired. I can't concentrate. I don't sleep enough, or like I don't eat enough.
Yeah.
And I definitely handle it a lot better nowadays. Because I got therapy. I had the privilege of being able to like have access to therapy and access to resources. But I can't say the same. Like I can't say it was always the case where I was able to navigate that. I didn't even know what it was called at some point. But there was a period of time where that led me into having unhealthy coping mechanisms. And it just spiraled. I couldn't connect with anybody, and it was just very bad. And then that also connected with the adjustment disorder, which is just struggle. Like that, all that is just like struggling to cope emotionally or with behaviors with a specific kind of stressor, like, you know, whether it be loss or breakup or anything in between. And that's more like, that can be a little more come and go, thankfully. But that also just causes, that would cause me anyway to like function a little different socially. It would cause me to withdraw from people. And honestly, all three kind of would mix in.
Yeah.
My anxiety and everything else. And again, like there was a period of time where I couldn't recognize it. And then on top of that, mental health is often very villainized in very strict religions and religious spaces. I'm not saying every religious space is like that, but you know, in the ones I grew up in, it was very stigmatized and it was viewed down on. So that was like the mentality I had growing up. I didn't view it that way for other people, but for myself, that's kind of like the pressure I put on myself, where it was bad and I'm not supposed to feel this, or like, you know, essentially just praying it away. Instead of talking about it and having open conversations, and ultimately it led to isolating myself from other people because I now felt kind of disgusting with these things. And over the years, I outside of just therapy, because therapy definitely didn't solve my issues, all the issues I had. It helped though. Through therapy, I discovered a young people's program, which is where I work present day, where we would learn about bees, and the whole idea of the programming was just seeing therapeutic ways to go about it, on how bees affect you therapeutically. And while it didn't work for everyone, it worked for me. And the thing with beekeeping is it teaches you a lot of like ways to ground yourself, and it teaches you to be patient even in moments of impatience. So I started like learning to be a little more patient with myself and grounding myself, and from there I kept building up that system, until ultimately not only did I have a self-support system, but I also had people around me who supported my self-support system. Sorry, I went on a ramble off of your question.
Oh no, it's okay, cause it went into just how you coped, and so like you told us about that you went into bad coping methods, and then you found like beekeeping.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, I also had photography on the other end. So I actually do photography professionally now, but I got into photography and like I started picking up hobbies. Now there is a downside to all of that, and it's that I started looking into staying busy to avoid dealing with my problems.
Yeah.
I became one of those people where I need to be productive, because the more productive I am and the more I get done in the day, the less I have to deal with feeling some type of way, or it'll probably go away, quote unquote, right? Then when all that productivity was done and I was done getting everything done, I still felt like garbage. So that's hence why I picked up just learning to do nothing was okay.
Yeah.
And I started doing more things just for me and not just to be busy or productive. Even sometimes just taking a nap.
Yeah, that's important.
Or not taking on like 30 different projects.
Yeah, I have a friend that copes, unfortunately, using that method of staying busy all the time, and it's really difficult to see them do that, because like that they might want to like talk about it or something, but they're just kind of trying to avoid it through working, because hopefully they're hoping that it will go away if they keep like at work, because they can't think about it if they're working so much.
Yeah, or you just forget. I mean, that was the general idea. Like, I'm gonna forget why I felt this way.
Yeah.
And then the moment it comes back to you, you're like, oh, I didn't like deal with that, and I still don't want to deal with it, right? And I think that there's two different ways to see it. I think that as someone who did it, I can see it from the other lens, and I can also see it from the lens of someone who would look out for me for that exact reason, and often scold me for it. It's a matter of recognizing it. And it doesn't mean you have to sit there and talk about it, right? Like, talking about it isn't the only way you have to like deal with it, but recognizing that you do need to sit down with yourself, and you do need to acknowledge that you feel this way, and that these things are coming off this way, and thinking about ways you can help yourself, and or seek help if you need it.
Yeah. Monique says, therapy really being work because I don't have to think about personal life, time moves on, and I make money. It can be therapeutic. The problem is when it becomes a toxic environment where you are constantly working just to avoid thinking about that stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it's fine to work. My beekeeping thing is for my job. Like, I'm employed and that's my job, and I get paid to do it. And that for me is therapeutic. That job's always been like a means of therapy for me. But I also recognize that that's not the only therapeutic thing I have, and that there are other things I need to do outside of just putting myself to work.
Yeah, it's good to find like balance, I think, especially with like working and then also other means. So like,
exactly.
Yeah, so like, for instance, I find a lot of therapy in working. I may not have like a job, but like I do volunteer work. I do like other things like art work, I guess.
Yeah.
Like drawing for like assets and like volunteer stuff. And I find a lot of therapy in that, but I also find a lot in doing my own thing, like other hobbies, like collecting things and like going thrifting and like taking a nap, all sorts of other methods, and like talking about it definitely helps too.
For sure.
And yeah, there's like, it's good to find like multiple ways to cope, because if one of the ways doesn't help, then you can always use one of these other methods and try to ground yourself through other means. There's even like things like breathing exercises. There's like grounding techniques, like specialized techniques from like therapy that are important to learn, because those also can help. It depends on the person, of course. So it's good to have like multiple ways, I think. At least that's my theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Would you like to talk more about like, so like the adjustment disorder is basically that it's hard for you to adjust to things like coping wise? Is that what it is?
It's hard to adjust to change.
It's hard to adjust to change. Okay.
And it's like stressful kinds of change, like that, like it showed up a lot more. For example, when I had my very last breakup, right?
Yes.
It showed up a lot more. It's when you emotionally or just behaviorally can't cope or struggle to cope with something very specific. So for that period of time, I was very withdrawn openly, and it in turn also affected my anxiety, my depression. I would fluctuate between being very angry, like a very angry and bitter person, to just being fine, to not being fine. Like it shows up in a lot of different ways, with specific things.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's a little different from this, but I struggle with autism, and one of the symptoms is that it's really hard for me to cope with change. So change to routine, change to like my lifestyle, or like any sort of like change. Like if I had a plan for something and then someone cancels on me, that's really hard for me to cope with, because all of a sudden it's like I had this whole day planned out. I was expecting this, and then suddenly it's like, oh wait, what? like wait a minute, what am I supposed to do now? Because now I don't know what to do. And so like I start to like kind of freak out a little bit, like, because it's like not that my day is ruined, but like something changed and I don't know how to handle it. Or like with my breakup, like I struggled with that a lot, because all of a sudden I had a different routine than I used to, and now like that person's gone, and like it's really strange because it's weird. It's like it's almost like that person died in a way. Like I know that's extreme, but like it's like,
no, I get it.
Yeah, it's suddenly their whole routine has changed. You don't see them anymore. You're not allowed to. You can't really talk to them, and because now it's a different playing field, you know. And then like I had to like expect, like, because he would always come on Sundays. So then every Sunday I would expect him to be there, and then through Monday and Tuesday he would be there. But that now he's not, so I didn't know what to do with myself those days. So it was really hard getting through the week, like every week for like months. I remember that. So maybe it's kind of similar. I don't know. You would be the judge of that.
So as someone who is neurodivergent, I definitely get that.
Yeah.
But it's a little similar, yeah. It's it's actually super similar. Jeez.
I guess, yeah.
It's a lot.
It's also like, I I also struggle with anxiety, but also a little bit different. I struggle mostly with social anxiety, and I do have some like general anxiety too, but mostly it's surrounding like driving and other situations where I feel like not prepared for, I guess.
Yeah.
Your anxiety I think is a little different, right? It's like, what was it like? It was like, how would you describe it, I guess?
No, it's not. It's not different. That's one of the main ways I struggle with anxiety, specifically socially.
Also like social anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah, I just I don't think I was specific with talking about it, I guess. But yeah, so that's one of the main reasons I got into beekeeping. Actually, because I was looking for, that was one of the things that my therapist that in that time, I was like, what, 14, 15 maybe, something like that. But it's around the time that she figured that we should start somewhere, and I decided to start working on socializing, because I had developed very bad social anxiety from trauma from like childhood, very young childhood, and so I started forcing myself, if you will, into social situations or social spaces so that I would be pushed to have to socialize and work on my socializing. Not to say that works for everyone, but it's still something I do. It's why I got into VTubing, even, right? To start working on my socializing skills.
Honestly, same.
And it's definitely helped.
Yeah. It's the same for me with VTubing. Cause I was really lonely and I really wanted to make like friends. Cause I really struggle with like anxiety. And so like I used to try to join like when I was really little, like role-playing forums, and I was always scared to do so because, you know, everyone's older than me. Everyone's like, I don't know how to talk to people, and I would like join and then immediately leave because the moment someone joined in the chat, I would get scared and leave. Or like same with like Roblox or any other game. But then as I got older, I realized like, you know, I need to like talk to people. I really need to like practice, and I want to make friends. So like I kind of like part forced through it, and also just practice with like VTubing because it like practice like talking to people, and like helps me just to like learn about people, and like doing this series especially forces me to talk to so many different people. Some I know, some I don't, and it's difficult. I know I get a lot of anxiety at first before I have to join call, but like it's helped so much. Honestly. Next
yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with content creation.
Yeah. Nexus Perexis says, I heard beekeeping. Yeah, that's one of, I believe, Frubbles' way of coping currently. I think it's a really decent like method. It's unique, but I think it's healthy.
I can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, definitely.
What's therapeutic about it? So again, the program I work for, it studies specifically the like different ways beekeeping can be therapeutic for people. For some people, it's just been like the setup going into it, where you have to light a smoker, you have to get suited up, whatever it is we're doing, right? And like talking through what we're gonna get done. And it's getting out of rowdy mode, if you will, to like, all right, I'm here, I have to be mentally here. So it's kind of like the mental and physical prep of going into it that's been therapeutic for some people. For myself, it's been like the noise bees make. Because keep in mind, I'm around like, let's say it's 2 hive boxes, there's like 80,000 bees in both boxes.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing their noise. There's different smells. It's a sensory thing for me. And it's the sensory aspect of beekeeping that specifically is therapeutic for me. I'm very like into like different textures and sounds and stuff. So that whole aspect of beekeeping is what specifically has been the therapeutic part for me, outside of just getting ready for it mentally and physically, and emotionally even. Yeah. That's been it for me.
For me,
definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely a unique way to cope, but you know.
Yeah. It's definitely different, but like it sounds like it works really well for like some people, you know? Like it just depends. Like you said, like the textures, the sounds, different aspects like suiting up, preparing, and like stuff like that. Different aspects I feel like could really help a lot of people. It just depends on if they're up to dealing with bees, I guess. Because I know some people do have a big fear of bees. But besides that, I think it's a good method. Yeah, for me, I know with coping, I usually I like to, I think I already mentioned these, like draw, nap, stuff like that, do like art projects, and hang out with my boyfriend. That also helps a lot. Just having someone around that you can like trust and like talk to, that really helps. So like, or talking with my mom, that also helps. Therapy for me when it comes to bees is watching them fly into each other in slow-mo. Okay. My friend isn't scared, they're allergic to bees. That's true. That's another thing that might keep you from it. But other than that, I think it's, yeah. Like, I might not do it myself because I'm afraid of being stung. I'm very sensitive to that. But I've done things like keep ants before, or like other like insects. So I feel like it could be similar in a way. Like it's a lot of care and practice and lots of things. I think it's definitely like a unique method of therapy. I've kept butterflies before. That's interesting. Yeah, I've kept ants. That was really fun for me. It was for a short period. I kept them in like test tubes, like the queens, and like would watch over them. But I made the mistake of like letting a spider into the enclosure because I was like, oh, the worker ants can handle it. They were, unfortunately, what I forgot was that the first worker ants are actually incredibly weak. So they became snack to those spiders. And that was that was a moment I was so sad because the queen got traumatized and she refused to lay eggs again. So that was my short stint with keeping ants. The rest of them, unfortunately, they didn't lay eggs. It was just like the one queen.
I keep honeybees, so
oh nice.
Outside of the therapeutic part, I get honey and it's yummy and it's fun to put into things.
Yeah.
It also tends to taste different, so it's fun to do a little taste test between all my hives because it's all different. Like where they're collecting is different, so
yeah, because they tend to avoid each other.
It's more like I have hives in like different places.
Oh, in different locations. Okay, yeah, I thought they were in the same place.
Some of my hives, depending on where they are, like sometimes their honey tastes like more cinnamony. Others tend to taste more sweet. It's interesting. Really interesting.
That is interesting. I almost like forgot that they could have different flavors, because like the store-bought honey tends to always taste like artificial and the same. You know, it's not like the natural kind, like straight from the beekeepers almost. I feel like they have like really different well, like you said, like different tastes and stuff, and like different colors and stuff like that. Like some are darker than others, some are lighter, things like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Lighter honey usually is the sweeter kind. The darker honey is usually the like, how I put it, it's more strong, way more strong.
Like rich.
Yeah. There we go. I was trying to find I was trying to English, because I can explain it in Spanish really well. But yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Let's see. Checking the time. Okay. Yeah, we have a few more minutes. Is there any questions you would like to ask me, or like anything you were thinking about, like that you wanted to mention about any of your struggles, or what you'd like to say to the viewers, or things like that?
I appreciate you having this discussion. Like I said before, I think they're very important to have. I think that they should happen very often and shouldn't be a one-off thing. And that I appreciate you giving me the time and the space to,
of course,
talk.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think for the viewers, I would like to maybe say, like, find like different hobbies, things like that. I think those are really good ways to like cope generally. It doesn't matter how, like, it could be like something unique like beekeeping, it could be something like mainstream, I guess, or like it doesn't matter what it is as long as it helps you, you know?
Yeah, I'd also say if traditional beekeeping, isn't your cup of tea, or traditional beekeeping, traditional therapy, traditional beekeeping, yep. Traditional therapy isn't your kind of thing. I'd say looking into non-traditional therapy, because beekeeping falls into non-traditional therapy. But there's like very, very different forms of therapy. Another one that I enjoyed a lot was aromatherapy, but there's also Reiki, I think it's called. I know someone told me about that. I heard that sounded really fun or cool. There's yoga. Yoga is considered non-traditional therapy.
Yeah, I forgot to mention things like yoga. I've done yoga before as therapy before, and it's really nice. Therapy. Yeah.
Equine therapy is really cool. Which is interacting with horses, so like horse riding and stuff. That's a non-traditional means of therapy.
There's even like music therapy. There's like art therapy. I think those are some other things. Pet therapy, things like that. Those can also be helpful. And I'd recommend y'all to, if like traditional therapy doesn't work for you, try exploring these other methods and see like what works for you, or find like hobbies that you enjoy, things like that. You can use work as a sense of therapy as long as you don't rely on it, as long as it's not the only thing you do and constantly do it to cope, because otherwise it can do the opposite. Could a rage room be considered non-traditional therapy? I've actually heard studies about that, and it's actually not recommended. It can be for some people, but generally,
what your situation
is. If it's anger, it does not help with anger, unfortunately. Like the title might suggest. The studies have shown that it actually makes you more angry in the end than when you started in the rage room. So it might not help with anger, it might help with other things. Like if you're afraid of constantly breaking things, if you're like constantly tiptoeing, or like you're like me when you're really cautious and like always afraid of doing something wrong, this might allow you to literally like do wrong in a healthy environment. Like,
Yeah, though I would say, it can be therapeutic for some people.
yes,
All things considered, it's just not going to be for everyone.
just
I would
not for
say
everyone.
consider what you need, what it is you're going for and aiming for when you're looking to release things emotionally. If it's like you're just needing a controlled space to like release those feelings, sure, rage room might work. But if you
Mhm.
know that you've already felt this kind of way, you've already released it before, like this is the kind of thing you've done before, and you know how you're gonna feel after, and you know it's not gonna work, don't do it. Just
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
nothing.
It's a good thing to try at least.
Yeah, it's definitely a try. Definitely worthwhile to try it.
Yeah. Just be careful if it's like with anger, of course, because sometimes things like the overstimulation of noise and senses can cause you to get angrier. Just be careful and know how you handle anger, basically. Because if that sort of thing tends to irritate you, this might not work. But
Yeah.
it can be a good therapy for other people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Does chat have any last questions before we end stream? I'll let you guys type if you do. Or if you want to talk about your own issues, then feel free and we could discuss it. Maybe like suggest other ways that can help. Of course, we're not professionals, so we can. So more serious topics might require things like a therapist or a psychiatrist to handle. But we can probably help with some smaller things in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give you guys a moment real quick while I check some things.
Oh. Am I dead?
Oh no, you're not dead.
There we go.
There
Okay.
you go. You're very much alive.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing else to add, just popped in at the last moment, I see. Yep, okay. Then I guess we'll end here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Frubbles, for joining me in this podcast session.
Yep. Thank you.
Of course. And I'll see you guys likely tomorrow, actually. Likely tomorrow with a little yap session about like events while I was gone for a few weeks. So things like that. Just, yeah. And I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye. Bye.